Wow, everybody. It has been an amazing, amazing event. I'm so delighted that you've been here with us. I'm so delighted to see the speakers and learn, these are all people that I've known over the years. And I still, every time I talk to them, I learn something new. And I hope that you've been able to do that too. So let me share my screen. Just want to do kind of a wrap up here on what we're doing with the GOI and where we're going. So there you go. You should see a white screen that says the GOI. So there's our website. Social media, for those that do that, you can find some of those things there. What are we about in the GOI? We're helping organizations to help people to grow and thrive in their careers. We're solving these three great challenges of workforce learning. Career navigation, which is not done well either by schools or by employers, and where people need more help of that. And you heard the researchers, you also heard the practitioners talking about that. Teaching in a more agile, more granular way, to the minute, rather than taking the time to do it the way we do in traditional ways. And also this need to recognize the skills in many different ways. So, from micro credentials to industry certifications to the kind of competencies that Katie Hall talked about, thinking about new ways to put currency, to smooth the labor market by creating skills as currency, certified skills as currency to make that happen. These are three huge challenges that need to be met. We're just really starting to start to peel the onion a little bit in some of these, and there's a lot more work to be done for every worker, for every organization, and for everywhere. I want to really emphasize here that this is helping workers, but it's also helping employers. It's about developing careers. It's also about developing talent in organizations. This is not just a thing that organizations are doing because it's good for society. They're doing it because it's good for them too. And we want to make sure that we keep that idea into the GOI with everything we do. It's an ecosystem of organizations all aligned toward that purpose. And each group will work on its own, focusing on that one specific, whether it's veterans, whether it's women who need technical skills, whether it be people returning to work, whatever it would be, whether it be cybersecurity skills. Each one will work on its own, but we're all going to learn from each other. And we're going to tackle some challenges together to make this happen, some projects we can take on to make real change happen. The way I'm thinking about it is this. We at MIT are really good at solving problems. And so we try to solve them all the time. But the smarter people at MIT realize that we can't do it all, that we have to do this in collaboration. And the smartest people at MIT think about it, the idea of, can we catalyze an ecosystem to happen? And so in listening to the smartest people at MIT, I've realized that this problem is a big, complex, worldwide problem. And the best thing we can do here is not solve the problem for ourselves. We certainly have amazing research. We've done amazing projects. I've done things, BJ's done things. The researchers we've talked about have done things. Each of the other MIT people you've met have done fascinating things, but it's just a drop in the ocean of what needs to be done. This problem will be solved when we can catalyze an ecosystem, all of the groups doing what they're already doing and learning from each other and maybe tackling some challenges together. That's where the win comes for the community, but also for the organizations and the workers. So what are we going to do? How are we going to do this in the GOI? By convening events like this, but we'll also have specialized events. We're going to have one in the fall on algorithmic approaches to career navigation. What can we do with data to get better ideas on where people can move with their careers? This will be researchers from industry and academia thinking through there. A lot of communicating, case studies, newsletters, webinars, stories out there. A lot of creating and curating, research summaries, projects we'll do together. We're thinking about a micro certification pilot using some very interesting work that MIT is doing with 12 other universities, which is Creative Commons micro credentials wallet, and trying this out in manufacturing and some other areas. But there will be more creation in terms of frameworks and research reports, and also catalyzing change, both incenting other people to do it and also working with others to get this done. So how are we going to do it? Working groups. One thing is working groups. We're going to have some on, clearly we'll have some on manufacturing and human skills and probably on apprenticeships and some other things because they're natural places where we're already doing work. But these working groups, the way we want to do it will be, if enough people want to do something, that working group will take off. We'll help it, they'll help us, and that will move us forward. Certainly a research network of global researchers from the MITs and the Stanfords and Harvards of the world, but also from other universities in other parts of the world. Regional hubs. We're going to have a regional event in Manila with Unilab and some others in there in the beginning of November. It'll be a Southeast Asia summit. We're thinking also next about one in London for Western Europe in the winter. And these will be run by members of the coalition here who will organize this for their area to focus on topics that matter most to their area. We're going to have webinars and newsletters, of course. We have student clubs. We're experimenting right now with a model UN format of student clubs that care about these workforce topics, who can do some writing, they can do some interviews, they can do some research, they can maybe even try a few experiments there, starting at Harvard and at MIT, and then we'll figure out how to get this to other schools around the world that are interested. And of course, we're also going to do collaborative field projects. Sitting back and thinking is not enough. We're going to get out there. We're actually going to do work. Already, our team here is doing stuff with refugees and boot camps. We're doing things with community colleges and advanced manufacturing and many other areas. But there are so many other opportunities for MIT to collaborate, but also for our members to collaborate with each other to solve problems. So it's a big, big problem. We are not going to solve it alone, but by bringing the right kinds of people together, like we started today, like all of you who have been here, then you can solve the other big problem that we can't solve here, which is this. What do we need? We need you. We need you and your organization to join us as members of the GOI. And if you contact me or contact any of the other organizers, we can tell you about that. It's a pretty light lift to join. But of course, once you're in, we're going to want to do a lot of good stuff with you. But we want many of these organizations are in the process of joining, and we want others to join. The more people join here, the more opportunity we have to do great things around the world, to share your stories, to learn from each other, and to tackle big challenges together. So what does that lead me to? Thanking the teams that have helped to set this up already. One is we have a very small organizing team that have been using their spare cycles over the last year to really get this going. Steve Carson ran the show behind the scenes on this entire event. Amrutha Kalata, David Vasquez are students who just care deeply about that and put their time into helping us move forward. Du Yen is doing some very amazing communications work for us. And I want to really highlight especially Steve Nelson, who is hiding behind the scenes and doing amazing things. He really is, it's me and him really putting a lot of the effort in here with the volunteer work of others when they've got moments. But this would not have happened without Steve and the amazing work he's been doing in this work. And hopefully we'll continue to do that. I also want to put advice. I called this advisors when I wrote this slide, and I realized that some people on this list may not even realize they've been advisors to this program. Even that single conversation that left that incredibly important comment, both pro or con, has been very valuable. And so you can see a long list of people. Some people I talk to regularly. Some people I've only talked to occasionally. But these people have had tremendous contributions in helping to think about what the GOI can be and how we can turn this into something that really has true impact in the world. I also want to thank our speakers. You saw what they had to offer here, and this launch event is a success because they were involved with it. So that's where we're going. The right skills to the right workers in the right way at global scale. It's good for workers, it's good for employers, and we don't want to forget it's good for both. And it's also good for the communities and the countries they operate in. So with that, I want to thank you for being with us. Please join us. Make this journey to make real change in the world. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you, everybody.